Let's be real, the cost of living is getting higher and higher. It's insane. And I think we've gotten to the point where we should be having conversations about how we can save money or how we can manage our money better in these times. And that's why we're doing this video. Before we get into it, if it's your first time here, welcome. I'm Nicole. I share career and sometimes lifestyle related content. Saving money. I know and fully understand that you can only save so much. You cut off things from your expenses, you cut other things. You can only do that to a certain point until there's nothing left to cut. And so before we get into other ways that you can actually save, I want to talk about the most obvious one first, and that's to make more money. I don't know much about other countries, but I know if you're in Canada, especially Ontario, you probably need additional streams of income to live a somewhat comfortable life where you're staying way ahead of your bills. You're still able to afford a few luxuries like maybe fine dining, afford shopping organic groceries. If you have kids, buying them clothes, toys, and stuff regularly, weekend getaways every now and again. The average person in Canada cannot afford to do those things right now. I have a video in which I shared some income generating ideas you can actually work on whilst having a full-time job. So check that out if you want some ideas. But what I'm personally focusing on this year is building my personal brand and taking content creation seriously so that I can make more money out of it. Content creation has always been something that I've done in my extra time for fun and as a hobby. But after seeing what a lot of creators I follow made last year, I was like, what? I've really been sleeping on myself, and I realized there's so much potential to make much more than I've been making. And so I purposed it in my heart that this year I'm gonna take my content creation journey seriously and actually treat it like another job and not just a hobby. If you've noticed, I have put a little bit more effort in my thumbnails, a little bit more effort in my editing, and I've been consistent across all my platforms. It's all intentional and part of my strategy to save by making more money. So please do support my YouTube channel, watch my videos, share them. If you watch a video, give it a thumbs up. In fact, give this video a thumbs up right now and comment to just help me achieve that goal. Let's get into some other ways that we can save money. First thing I've been doing is bulk purchases. Historically, I've been the kind of person that buys one or two items from the grocery store and then I'm back at it again in like 2-ish weeks. It's just never worked out in my favor because I'm not one of those people that have the discipline to walk in a store, get what I need, and walk out. I've tried writing paper lists, doing it the digital way. I always end up getting something that I don't need and spending additional money that I don't need to be spending. And so what I decided to do this year, which has worked out pretty well and is going well, if I should say so, I made a list of all the household and food items we need, and I made bulk purchases for like 90% of the household items and toiletries. I actually organized some of my toiletries stockpile with you in a previous video. Check it out if you haven't. For some items, I have enough stock to last me till next year. Some items I have sufficient stock to last us halfway through the year, and other items maybe like 3 months. Either way, it's helping me save because first of all, I was able to make bulk purchases, so economies of scale. Second reason, I'm not buying things I don't need because I'm making less trips to the grocery store. Also related to this point is meal planning ahead of time to avoid food wastage. There have been times where I found myself cooking new meals, but I already have cooked food in my fridge, and before I know it, I am sadly throwing away that older food because I don't feel like eating it anymore because I feel like it's old. But when I meal plan ahead of time, I know exactly what I'm preparing. And if there's extra food in the fridge, I'm going to incorporate that into my plan for the week. How does this help me save? If I'm not making something new for lunch because there's something already in the fridge, then I'm kind of like extending the lifespan of my groceries. Does it make sense? Since we're talking about food, and we'll get into other things, but let's conclude on the food topic because I know that one of the biggest parts of most budgets, most households, after paying mortgage or rent and maybe school fees, is their food. Actually, you should consider shopping seasonal food items when they're actually in season. For example, if you like fruit, shop for the fruit that's in season at that time because it's going to be cheaper than buying out of season fruits. Same thing with things like peppers and tomatoes. They're significantly cheaper in summer because that's when they're in season. But if you buy tomatoes or peppers in winter, you're paying a premium. What a lot of people do, including myself, I started doing this recently, is buying peppers and tomatoes in bulk at the end of summer and then preserving them in the freezer or canning them to use throughout winter. Canning is my personal favorite because I actually love the convenience of just opening a jar and using it. I canned tomatoes and peppers at the end of last summer and I have sufficient to last me till like middle of this year's summer, and so I've saved so much money because I haven't had to buy tomatoes and I haven't had to buy peppers, and those are like quote unquote essential items that are needed in every household because for the most part you need peppers and tomatoes for a lot of dishes. Another way to save money is to declutter your home. You'll be surprised how many valuable items you actually own, but you don't even need them or use them or even want them. So if you have no one to give those things away, put them for sale online. Even if you're gonna get $20, $30, $40 on those items, it's money that can go a long way in adding to your grocery money or your gas money. In this economy, every dollar really counts. There's no amount that's too small. I've also heard that clothes are really popular on online marketplaces, so you can consider decluttering your closet every season and doing so. Personally, I don't feel comfortable wearing secondhand clothes or selling my personal worn items to strangers, so I usually look for other items that are not clothing that I can sell online. I think the last item I sold was an office chair that I had. I hadn't been using it because it was cute, but it wasn't so functional. So instead of just keeping it, I sold it and I made like around $50 by selling it online. Also consider cost-free entertainment activities. You don't always have to go out and spend money to have fun or to hang out with your loved ones. There are a lot of activities you can consider and have a great time at home doing. Instead of going to the movies all the time, you can watch movies at home, make popcorn in your microwave. Speaking of movies, instead of going to the movies on like a Friday night or Saturday night, when first of all, it's so packed because everyone is there and you're paying full price. In Toronto, movies are actually half price on Tuesdays, so you can save a little bit of money there by going to watch a movie on a Tuesday night versus the weekend. Instead of eating out every week, you can cut it down to a few times in a month. You can find recipes to make fancy meals at home. You can host your friends and ask everybody to bring something. That way you're not putting the burden on yourself to handle that financial burden. Just don't always think about going out. Think about what you can do at home to have fun. This is a really important one, but splurge on things that matter and save on things that don't. What does that mean? In the season, doing my lashes is pretty important to me, so I'm spending money on that. But there's a time that I didn't care for it, so my money was going towards other things. Getting my hair washed and treated professionally is also really important to me because I hate doing it myself. And so I decided to just put that in my budget. I'm gonna spend money on my hair, on my lashes, because these are things that are important to me. Buying organic produce is also really important to me, so I'm gonna spend on that. On the other end, I'm not really pressed about buying like the most expensive cleaning products. I just need regular cleaning products. As long as they work, I'm happy with that. So think about the things that are really important to you that you want to splurge on, and for everything else, buy the cheapest thing that you can find. That way you're making your dollar work for you, because if you're gonna buy everything expensive, it's gonna be really expensive. Those are just some of the ways that I am saving money this year. If this is a journey that you're also on, please share what you and your household have been doing, and let's all learn together in the comment section. Please give this video a thumbs up. Like I already mentioned, I'm trying to take my content creation seriously this year, so help me out and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.